Happy fall, y'all! This week, our theme for the Healthy Green Thumbs newsletter is transition. Earlier this week, we said goodbye to summer and hello to fall. So without further ado, I bring you our friend Clif, the nurse farmer, and he is going to share with us some great tips for our Healthy Green Thumb friends on what to grow this fall and how to transition into this growing season.
Thanks for the introduction, Susan. And yes, the end of summer means the beginning of fall, the season of change, a time for reflection and a time to learn from the past so that we can plan for the future. Growing in the fall proved to be very challenging for me last year. Moving from California to Alabama, I took a lot for granted. See, in California, I use compost from Napa County, and I could grow essentially anything in that compost with essentially no problem at all. And that's not really the case here in Alabama. See, unfortunately, I no longer have access to my Napa County compost, and the homemade compost that I use here, and also the soil in my yard is very different from what I had in California. Networking with other, more experienced growers can greatly improve our chances for success, and that's why I paid a visit to my local county extension here in Mobile County last week, and I got some information to help improve my chances for success this fall and winter. I prefer to grow organically without using any chemical fertilizers. Now, the literature that I obtained from the Mobile County Extension advised me that most organic fertilizers tend to be rich in phosphorus and low in nitrogen. The problem with that, see, the thing is, with low nitrogen and high phosphorus, it can be problematic because most plants use 5 times more nitrogen than they do phosphorus, meaning when I'm using an organic fertilizer, I might have to use a lot more to make up for that lack of nitrogen. And this can lead to problems because the phosphorus that is not used by the plants can cause problems like nutritional deficits and even water contamination. I've decided to use an organic fish emulsion fertilizer, which has more nitrogen compared to the phosphorus and potassium. The numbers on the label indicate the percentage of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. My fish emulsion fertilizer is a 5-1-1. That means it's rich in 5% nitrogen, 1% phosphorus, and 1% potassium. Growing in cold weather months can present a few challenges, but fortunately there are quite a few vegetables that grow and some that even thrive in the cold weather. Now, in our first Healthy Green Thumbs video, Susan and I both discussed a few tips to consider before starting a garden. You can find a link to that video on both Susan and I's websites, but for a quick review, let's just review. 1. Identifying your plant hardiness zone. 2. Determining the average dates of the first and last frost. 3. Following your seed planting instructions. And 4. Networking with other growers in your area can greatly improve your chances for success. Now, collards are one of my favorites, and collards fall into that category of vegetables that thrive in cold weather. That's what I'm going to plant today. I'm going to plant my seeds in a trench that's about 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch deep. I'm going to plant the seeds about 12 inches apart. I'll use this tape measure as my guide to give you an idea of how far apart that is. As you can see, this is 1 foot. 12 inches. I'm going to put my first seeds right here. Here's a 24-inch mark. I'm going to plant a couple of seeds. At the 24-inch mark, just gently dropping them into the trench. I've spaced out my seeds at 12 inches apart. First set, second set, third set. After planting my seeds, I will gently cover them up. Water daily. I can't stress this enough. It is so important to keep seeds moist so they will germinate. In closing, speaking from experience, I'd like to share that growing collards is one way to introduce kids to a new type of green. One of my favorite ways to enjoy collards is to chop them into coarse strands and then use them as a very unique filling for egg rolls. They are so delicious, and my kids love them.
Thanks for sharing that demonstration and those great growing tips, Cliff. You know, you mentioned something interesting about reflecting and evaluating the past season, which I have been doing myself. I actually like to keep a growing journal and also sometimes take pictures of what worked well during the year and make notes for next year of what I'm going to grow more of, maybe some plants that I would transition because they got too much or not enough sun. Ideas on how to more effectively water. I know, for example, that the zucchini did fabulous for me this year, so I am definitely going to add more of those next year. So Cliff, for those of us who may not want to grow collard greens, which are big leafy greens, very healthy, can you make some suggestions of some other vegetables we may want to grow this fall?
Susan, there are several plants that we can grow in cooler temperatures. Greens like turnips, lettuce, even bok choy. Other plants that will grow well in the cool weather temperatures include things like carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, even Brussels sprouts. Knowing your plant hardiness zone and the average dates of the first and last frost are two important steps in determining which plants you might select for your fall and winter garden. I also want to reiterate the importance of following seed planting instructions. Please visit thenursefarmer.com/healthygreen thumbs or thenaturenurse.com/healthygreen thumbs to sign up for our bi-weekly newsletter. Take care. Bye-bye.